Are you having a hard time making a baby? Well, say no more. I've got the solution. Look, you can get your own little tree monster to which your wife will get an unhealthy attachment for the price of only one cat. By then you will hate that little stupid thing anyway.
Gosh.
So wait no longer and get your very own Otesanek. Letsgo is not responsible for any dead mailmen, penal neighbors, shopping ticket service workers, or cabbages. Well, I really hope that was funny. Otesanek is a movie about a young... Otesanek is a movie about a... I fucking hate that sound. So Otesanek is a movie about a young couple trying to get a baby. Unfortunately, without much luck. They are so focused on this that the father sees babies everywhere. The couple lives in an apartment complex, together with this family who has a young daughter. And this daughter is not stupid. She immediately senses that the woman did not get pregnant again.
Tak paní Horáková zase nic.
Although her mother is quite sweet, her father is a little harsh.
Na takový řeči si ještě má.
It also seems she feels very lonely at home. Two other people who also live in this apartment is an older woman who lives on the ground floor and has a little garden. And also an older man who lives at the top floor. Every day he carries coals up the stairs for warmth in his apartment. Not only that, he's also a disgusting pedophile. What a character, huh? Because of the couple's hardship, the neighbors try to do something nice. They tell them about this little vacation cabin next to theirs, and that the couple could buy it. And they do. When they settle in, they start cleaning up the place. And they start with the garden. During this, the husband finds a tree trunk which resembles very much a child. This gives him an idea. He chops away pieces that do not belong and varnishes the wood. Now, looking quite like a baby boy, he presents it to his wife, who immediately gets head over heels for this trunk.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
She wants to take it home, but he's embarrassed because it's a piece of wood. So he makes up a story about how everyone will think they would have kidnapped the baby, because these things happen.
Si mohli pomyslet, že jsme ho někde ukradli. To se stává takový.
The husband tells the wife not to take the baby home, but to leave it at the vacation cabin and come back every weekend. It's obvious that he wants to keep it a secret, but the wife certainly doesn't. So she tells everyone that she's pregnant. She came up with this whole plan pretending she's pregnant with all these pillows from month to month. She also immediately starts hating the cats.
A nějaký ten
Ugh.
ten.
It has an anus. The wife can't wait and decides to pretend to have a premature birth.
Fanouši, nemohl bys ty paní Horákovou, když nechce sanitku?
Mám sobě vypít.
My spirit animal. They drive to the cabin and finally they can be together forever. The husband leaves her there for a week to make it seem as though she's in the hospital. But as soon as he locks the door, you hear something. A baby crying. Also, I think he is the only key, so he actually locks her shut in the cabin for a week. With the cat? She hates the cat. Please don't. He comes back to the cabin after a week, so I kinda expect no one to be alive anymore. Obviously, it has been abused that whole week. Just kidding. I don't think it's because of the cat being abused. I think it's because of this.
Dej ho sem. Dej ho sem a rozsekám na kusy.
Understandable reaction.
Něco neudělá. Strašně na něj žárlí.
For obvious reasons, she keeps the baby hidden in the stroller by covering with all
Je to
kinds
moje
of stuff.
dítě. Lidi jsou tak zvědaví, ale jak kdyby nikdy neviděli miminko. No jo.
Miminko jo, ale Otesanka ne.
And here comes the first red flag.
Pojď sem. Pojď mi pomoct. Dělej, nebo se tím zaduší. Ježiši, rychle.
Zkousat.
So, turns out this little tree monster has a huge appetite. Meanwhile, the neighbor's daughter has figured it out. It's from a fairy tale. The fairy tale talks about a couple much like the couple we already know. They can't have children, they really want to, and the husband finds a tree trunk that resembles a child. They raise it and it keeps wanting to have more food. Until eventually the mother can't give enough and it eats the mother. But it still hasn't had enough and is on its way to the village to eat the complete village. And in real life, the same thing has started.
To bylo jenom zvíře. Navíc mu už bylo 14 pryč a kocouři se dožívají 15 jen zřídka.
Zvlášť v rodině, kde mají Otesanka.
He's on streak.
Otík už je zdravej. Tak se ukáž, malinký.
Spí.
Sleeping? But as the fairy tale goes, Otesanek still hasn't had enough. So it eats the mailman.
Pak mu nedáváme dost.
And he was just with retirement. They replaced the mailman with a gay stripper? Clearly the soup is not enough for Otesanek because he ate the mailman. So they decide to only buy meat from now on. And during one of those meat runs, the downstairs neighbor finds out that they are pushing around a baby born and not a real child. Because of this, she goes to the police. The police sends Child Protective Services, and as you would guess, the meat runs are still not enough, but this meat run sure is. Am I right? The husband finally has had enough and decides to restrict Otesanek and bring him down to the basement where he locks him in a chest. The neighbor's daughter sees them bringing Otesanek to the basement and decides to go there. Because she's like, I can change him. Because the parents decided not to feed Otik anymore, the neighbor's daughter decides to take it upon herself. Good idea. Now when she continues reading the fairy tale, she reads that it ends with a lady growing cabbages, killing Otesanek with a hoe. And no, I don't mean those ones. But we've seen an older lady who grows cabbages with a hoe already in this movie. This scares the girl because she wants Otesanek to live, to be her friend. So she steals and buries the hoe. Her parents notice food missing from the fridge and tell her not to take any food anymore. This makes her take drastic measures. Which person from the building will die first? It's the old man. Yeah, don't really know what to say about this scene, actually. But the father decides to finally kill Otesanek, but he doesn't. His fatherly feelings overcome him, and with one last word, he says... Hearing the screams, his wife follows, and it's also eaten. Because of all the missing people, the neighbors decide to keep their daughter locked in their home because it's far too dangerous outside. But this causes Otesanek to go hungry and eat, you know it, all the cabbages. The old lady does not like that, so she takes her hoe and goes down the basement towards Otesanek.
A vyskočil bez hoříšek, za ním ovčák a za ovčákem skákal ovce. Potom z břicha vybělo hejno prasát.
In the fairy tale, the people who have been eaten are freed from the stomach and are all alive and well. But I have the feeling that won't be the same this time in real life. So, Otesanek, the movie we just watched, is a movie by svankmajer. If you are a real stop-motion fan, you've either already heard about him or should definitely check him out. This movie of his is based on a folktale, Otesanek, which he makes come to life using his amazing stop-motion skills and his great storytelling. So this movie is very much based around food. As you have already seen before, Otesanek has an insatiable hunger. But not only he has it. You see food everywhere in this movie. Almost every scene has someone eating. And it's disgusting. It looks horrible. You should definitely not be eating dinner when watching this movie. But also the eating is almost compulsive. Where it seems that the human appetite is compared to Otesanek's appetite. And that they seem to be very similar. This was also Jan's intention. This theme with food represents the insatiable desire our society has to consume. But not only with food, he also represents it with the desire to have a family and also with sex. And Svankmajer has a beautiful surrealistic way of visualizing this. And at this moment, I could make a bunch of jokes about anything, maybe that hoe again, but I'm not gonna, because this movie is great. And I already made enough jokes, and you should definitely go see it. Bye!